Hello and welcome to another episode of the UMass Sports Insider, coming at you from the Mullins Center here in Amherst. And over the next 30 minutes, we're going to take this show international with some of the students from outside the United States performing on the field for the Minutemen and women. But first, we welcome back Nathan Strauss, and we are excited, Nathan, because it is now time for crossover season here in Amherst. So a lot of sports starting up at the same time. Men's and women's basketball back on the court practicing. A lot of fun there.
A lot of fun. There's a game in Amherst every other day now through the new year, so you cannot miss out on this UMass athletics excitement.
Field hockey and men's soccer off to phenomenal starts to their season.
Both teams in and around the national rankings, field hockey climbing up as well. They picked up a number of huge wins early on in the season, and they're continuing their push. They'll be hosting the A10 championship in just a couple of weeks.
We'll take a look at the upcoming events here at home. You've got the Liberty game for football, as we mentioned, with men's soccer off to a great start, women's soccer as well, and then ice hockey. It is going to be a matchup of the last two national champions, the Minutemen and Denver. And don't forget to get your tickets, hockey season tickets. And if you can't digest a whole season ticket, how about some mini plans for ice hockey? Going to be a lot of fun as per usual here at the Mullins Center. Season tickets for men's basketball on sale now. And Pride Day coming up against Liberty, October the 8th at 3:30. A ticket special with a ticket purchase and a trucker hat. Speaking of Pride Day, we are excited to bring to you the impact that the Stonewall Center has had on students as a resource here on campus for the LGBTQIA+ community.
We're really excited about Pride Day, starting it out in 2022, but we really had ideas to do this pre-pandemic and started that planning effort. This is something we want to do on an annual basis to raise awareness, to really celebrate the impact that the Stonewall Center and our community on campus has had around diversity and inclusion efforts. And we're really proud that we're a leader, not only from a university standpoint, but I think in Western Massachusetts and across the Commonwealth.
My name is Jenny Beeman. I use they, them pronouns. I am the director of the Stonewall Center at UMass Amherst, and the Stonewall Center is the campus LGBTQIA+ center. We provide support, advocacy, resources, programming, community building for LGBTQ+ students, and educate the campus about LGBTQ+ issues.
It's important to be inclusive because there are pretty large ramifications if we aren't inclusive. We know that LGBT students, particularly trans students, have really high rates of self-harm, suicidal ideation, and completing suicide. And so we know that we need to intervene with those students to have as positive of mental health outcomes as possible. We also know that there's a recruitment and retention issue for LGBTQ students, and so if we can get them connected to resources and support, get them connected to a community, we can help them stay on campus and finish their degree.
Everyone has the right to be themselves, and everyone should be able to take pride in who they are. Being LGBTQ+ is a very basic part of someone's identity, who they are, and it really is disrespectful, hurtful to telling someone they can't be who they are. People are certainly entitled to their own political beliefs and religious beliefs, but it becomes an issue when you're foisting that onto someone else and telling them that they can't be who they are.
I've worked with the Stonewall Center over the last 10 years or so in my former role on the internal side. In terms of what I've been as the liaison for the Stonewall Center and our student athletes in the past. In terms of that relationship overall, they've been really key in terms of programming, not only for our student athletes, but for our coaches and staff as well. Work with them on a yearly basis, just making sure that we're educating, our department in terms of LGBTQIA+ issues, initiatives. What we're doing is honoring the Stonewall Center, the Pride Alliance, which is a student organization, as well as OSTEM, another student organization in engineering. So we'll have a representative from each of those groups on the field for the coin flip at the beginning of the game. In terms of the QR code, again, we're going to try to put a spotlight on donations to the Stonewall Center, and having that up in any of our social media during the week, in our program that day at the game. And so again, just trying to bring attention and trying to increase resources for the Stonewall Center.
I think it's important to celebrate the fact that we've got so many, our richness in terms of our diversity and thought, backgrounds, and making sure that people feel like when they come to this university, one of the best in the world, that they're accepted, and that it's important for us as a vehicle in athletics to represent that we are promoting that acceptance and that inclusivity. And this is a great opportunity for us to do it on an annual basis, to build Pride Day, just like we build Homecoming and Family Weekend and Hall of Fame Weekend, all those really important seminal events that we have associated with football games. This is something that we're excited about moving into the future and starting it in 2022.
At Mass General Brigham Sports Medicine, you'll find sports medicine care driven by research and determination. Top specialists who understand your athletic dreams, goals, and the need to get back to them. Together, we'll write your comeback story. Start your comeback story today.
What I'm most proud of the lottery is, the more revenue we generate, the more we give back to our communities.
Faxon Park is our memorial park dedicated to veterans. It's a source of pride in this town, and the lottery's helped us maintain that.
There's a great sense of pride being able to work out of this firehouse, that aid from the lottery. It's very important for us.
The ultimate winners are the 351 cities or towns.
The Mass State Lottery, 50 years of supporting communities.
50 years of winning.
Welcome back. Nathan Strauss here on the UMass practice fields, joined by UMass senior captain Fiona Kane. Fiona, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I am fantastic. So your journey to UMass is an interesting one. You started off as an attacking midfielder in high school. You scored almost 50 goals. But then since day one at UMass, you've been a stalwart at center back. What was that transition like for you?
Yeah, so I've actually played a lot of different positions on the field. Like you said, I was attacking mid in high school, which was super fun, getting to score. And then for club, I was actually outside back, who got to go up the sideline a lot. And then I came here, and Jason kind of just said, hey, we see you as being the central center back in a 3-back system. What do you think? And I was pretty much just like, whatever will get me on the field. Sounds good. And then I've just adapted to it, and I love it now. So, yeah.
You've played almost every single minute available since coming to UMass over the course of your now 4 years. What does that say, do you think, about your own sort of versatility or consistency?
I mean, I'm honestly just super thankful that I've gotten to play that much. I love being on the field, as anyone does. So yeah, I was just super happy that I came in and there was that spot open for the taking. And I'm glad that I was able to kind of solidify my position early on.
Now, you mentioned playing in a back three here. Last 4 years, UMass has been known for playing a lot of expansive soccer, a lot of attacking soccer. How do you view your role in that as someone who, leads from the back?
Yeah, so It's tough being the central one back there sometimes. Like on the corner kicks, I'm the one that's kind of stays back. I don't usually ever step foot in the other box, but I try to lead from the back since I'm the one that can see everything. So I really just give information to the people in front of me, like the center mids. And I try to just be a loud voice, someone positive that's in the back that can cheer on the team as we move up the field.
Now, off the pitch, you told me you're a hospitality and tourism management major.
Yes.
What do you view your future being off the pitch, and how does that major impact your life?
Yeah, so I'm definitely looking to go into some sort of management position, not exactly positive where yet. I think playing soccer actually helps with that, just being a leader and working on my leadership skills this year, going into management. It's super helpful. And I'm also looking to get my master's next year in business analytics, which is a little different. So yeah, I'm just seeing where that will take me. Yeah.
Leading from the back and leading at a business near you. Last thing for you, this senior class, it's maybe smaller than other senior classes, but can you talk a little bit about the bonds that you all have formed over the last 4 years?
Yeah, honestly, I'm super thankful to have the class that I do have. We've all been through a lot together the past 4 years. We actually started off as a pretty big class coming in. So the fact that we all made it here, I'm just so thankful to have them by my side. I couldn't have made it through without them. We all lean on each other through all the challenges that we go through. And yeah, I'm super thankful to have them.
Well, Fiona, we are certainly thankful to have had your presence here
Thanks.
on the pitch for UMass. When we come back, we'll have more on the UMass Sports Insider. Fiona, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Jess, thanks for joining us. How you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
Good.
Interesting to get to know you here over the next couple of minutes, and curious as someone from England, how your experience and what led you to UMass and choosing the Minutemen.
Yes. So I started playing field hockey when I was about 7. And in between, kind of after high school, before university, I took a gap year and I did some traveling and I played field hockey in Australia for a month. And I basically was playing in the Premier League at the time, the English Premier League. And Barb reached out and was like, hey, would you fancy coming over to the States? I've seen you play. Do you have any footage of you? So I sent her over some film and we had like an interview and I got to know her a little bit. Had a great connection from the off. She's a fantastic coach. Absolutely love her and the rest of her coaching staff as well. And then from there, she was like, do you want to come out on an official visit? And I was like, oh, actually, I can't because I'm traveling right now. But, she's planning a trip over to Europe. So I said, oh, cool, come watch me play. She came over and actually it worked out that weekend she couldn't see me play. So we had a dinner instead. She met my mum and I met Sarah Mansfield at the time, who was her assistant coach. And we had a dinner and just got along really, really well. And she didn't get to see me play, but she'd seen enough footage and she was like, you know what, from your personality and what we've heard from other people as well as watching your footage, I trust you, I think you're a good player. So, we'd love to offer you the opportunity to come out here. And I was like, this is great, fantastic, can't wait. So I turned up on the first day of preseason, having never visited UMass before. And I turned up and fell in love with it.
And now you're here.
And now I'm here 4 years later.
She trusted you and you trusted her. And that was you entering your freshman season where you started 18 games. You've really been an impactful player since you got here from the jump. How have you developed with your game on the field from that freshman year to where you are now?
Definitely, moving through the years, obviously, as I've developed as a player and as a person, I've taken on more of a leadership role. So this year, I'm part of the 4-man captaincy team with me, Emily Key, Josie Rossback, and Claire Danahy. So definitely my leadership skills have developed as well as my playing. And then also it's just kind of that balance of being a student athlete at UMass has been such a development in, my time management skills and kind of me as a person. It's shaped me as to who I am today. So it's been a huge part of my life.
What do you want to do once you're done playing here?
Oh, goodness. Well, this is where this comes in. So this is a long one. But I actually want to run my own sports agency one day, specifically for female athletes, ironically. And, maybe one day have a part feature for college athletes too. With this new NIL coming through, I just think there's going to be huge development there. And especially for women's sport in the next decade, there's going to be huge growth. So I hope to be a part of all of that.
We'll hope to see you get that off the ground. Last one for you here. What has the experience been like for you being an international student here on campus? Has it been easy? Has it been difficult?
Yeah, so it's definitely had its challenges for sure. Being this year in 2022, I spent a total of 4 weeks back in England, so I haven't been home a lot. So definitely, you know, being away from family is hard. But, you know, that doesn't come with its absolutely incredible moments too. I've been exposed to such a fantastic roster of international students. I have friends all over the world now, especially from field hockey, because it's more of an international sport than an American one. But from being an international, when you start, it's a very new culture. So even though I don't have that language barrier, because obviously we speak English, the culture is actually specifically quite different. The social scene is very different, and the education system is also completely different. So in my freshman year, I was able to study ethics, which I had never been able to study before. Really liked it and found this kind of new part. I was like, oh wow, like maybe, you know, I'd want to study that one day. But obviously that didn't kind of turn out to be where it led me, but it was definitely interesting to experience that.
Jess, thanks so much and good luck this season.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
For Hugo and Magnus, despite American football not being as popular as the football on the pitch, both had a family influence that led to their love of the game.
My older brother Leo used to play football at our local team in Brunswick, the city where I lived in Germany. And yeah, he just told me, you wanna play a great team sport, better than soccer, because at that time I was playing soccer. He told me to just come by and for one practice, and I went to one practice and never looked back. I fell in love with the sport right there and then. Yeah, the next day, I went there, and after he told me, and yeah, that's how I started.
For me, it was pretty much I was the typical child, like till 11, 12, that definitely don't want to do anything with sports. Like my mother was always like, try this, try that. I always tried it once. But then I said I hate it. And finally I got into football because my dad also played football in his in his 20s. And he was like, why you don't want to try that? And I tried it, and like he said, first training I had, and was like, this is what I want to do.
Move! Here! 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 Get out!
Having the connection and growth with former UMass star Brandon Collier certainly helped pave the road to UMass for Hugo and Magnus. Collier is now a leading cultivator of European football talent and of course has a deep and personal understanding of Massachusetts' rich history. He, along with the current staff, have helped make an immediate impact on the German duo.
Play fast, play fast, play fast. Hey, do nothing slow out here, man.
I can't really say how this happened in Germany or in Europe in general, but he developed such a strong name of his own and his organization that basically I would say every kid in Europe playing football on a higher level know him as a person or as a as something. And I had the luck that my head coach at that time can like give me the connection to him personally. And that's how he helped me training wise. He saw me, I trained with him, and he said he was like, okay, if you really want that, these are things you have to do. Like you have to train this and that to get better, to achieve that level you want to play on. And I did that every time I met him, like always once every few months. And by that I became better through the help of the knowledge, which is really not there in Europe at that point, I would say.
Coach Brouwer and Coach Albert, they both have a lot of knowledge of the game, and they just try to every day at practice trying to preach to us what we have to do to be successful, and just great in general. Coach Albert having a lot of knowledge about history, which is very cool to see that sometimes he is not only trying to get you understand the game of football, but also trying to preach about life and history and trying to get knowledge, pass on knowledge to you as a player. It's awesome to me, and a great attribute as a coach.
When you almost die and come back, you can't look at the world the same way.
A lifetime of mysterious health issues led to the discovery of a tumor in Kalia's heart.
The tumor was on my wall over here, and it was going like this over my valve. So I wasn't getting proper oxygenated blood to my body for probably my whole life.
Every beat of her heart was putting her life in danger. Watch her inspiring story at baystatehealth.org/mystory.
You live once, life is short. That's a huge eye-opener.
Baystate Health, advancing care, enhancing lives.
We know you're busier than ever before, caring for your children, your parents, or a loved one. And don't forget about yourself. You deserve a health plan that guides you along the way and helps you make the decisions that matter most. Health New England has options designed to meet the needs of everyone in your life. We'll be here for you every step of the way. Get a health plan that grows with you. Health New England, where you matter.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the Rental Source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
Welcome back to the UMass Sports Insider. This is Coffee with a Coach, brought to you by our good friends at Dunkin' Donuts. Here with UMass men's soccer head coach Fran O'Leary. What is your Dunkin' order, Coach?
Well, Nathan, it's always the same. Milk, hot tea, milk, no sugar.
Fair enough, a man who sticks with tradition. I went with a hot black coffee today, a switch up from the normal iced coffee, given the changing of the leaves and the chill in the air. Well, Coach, your team has gotten off to a very impressive start. One of just 9 teams in the country that is unbeaten to this date. What have you seen from your guys on the pitch?
Yeah, all credit to our guys. I'm so impressed with what they've brought so far. We're a tight group. I think that's the most important thing. They like each other. They want to help each other. They back each other up all over the field. And we have a group of more experienced players who have stepped into leadership roles. And we've got a group of younger players who are not afraid.
One of the really important things that we've seen so far this year is leading from the back. We spoke with Nathaniel Cardoza earlier this year, but it seems like the defense has been a real strong point for this team. How do you keep your guys organized out there on the pitch?
Yeah, well, a lot of credit to our associate head coach, Ben Brewster. He works a lot with our back four. So they've been very good, very solid throughout the season. We started off with 2 shutouts, 2 clean sheets in the A10. Gave up a couple the other night against a very good Fordham team, but we're very happy with the way we defend collectively.
Now the A10 this year has been an incredibly challenging league with 3 teams receiving votes or ending up in the rankings. Is this league as challenging as it's been since you've gotten here this year?
It's the most competitive it's been. I think there's 3 or 4 teams, ourselves included, who've had votes to be in the top 25. I believe ourselves and Dayton are 2 of the 9 teams left undefeated in the country. So a lot of challenging games ahead, both in conference and out of conference. So we'll see where it all shakes out in the next 3-4 weeks.
Now, this team has a lot of local talent, but the players who have jumped out to me, Evan Fournier, Andrew Ortiz, both from within 15 minutes of Rudd Field right here. What does it mean to you to have the talent in Western Mass that can make the step to the next level?
Well, it means a lot to our players, our Western Mass players. They take a big pride in playing here on Rudd. Evan has been terrific. He's been with us for 4 years, and this season he's just been a dominant player. We're just back, as we tape this, we're just back from Fordham where he had a goal and an assist, a terrific goal from outside the box. So his level of play, his level of consistency on both sides of the ball has been a huge impact for us this season.
And lastly, earlier this morning, Yosuke Hanya named as Colorado Rapids 2 Player of the Year. A couple of players from last year's teams now been placed professionally in Europe and in the States. Is that a goal for this program, to send players to the professional ranks?
Well, it's nice. Our goal is them to graduate and become functioning human beings in the world. But we're delighted when they can go on, and huge credit to Yosuke. He was a terrific player for us here. I'll just mention Andrew Ortiz from Longmeadow. I think Andrew has the potential to be one of the top midfield players in the country. He came in, he saw a little bit last season, and he is now a very, very important player for us.
Well, thank you, Coach. This has been our Coffee with a Coach presented by Dunkin' Donuts. Now to Jay Burnham with a special announcement on the ice.
Make sure you tune in to the next episode of the UMass Sports Insider, because it's all puck as we talk about the success of the back-to-back Hockey East champions, the Massachusetts Minutemen.